Hello, everybody, and welcome to my fully online section of Math 213, Calculus 3. While remote instruction may not be an ideal modality for calculus, I have discovered over the last year and a half that you can indeed successfully learn multivariable calculus in the fully online section if you are committed and willing to spend the time required to do your work. You will be spending a lot of time in Canvas, so let me show you how your Canvas shell works for Math 213, okay? Let me share my screen with you and we will get started. Okay, so I don't know what your Canvas dashboard looks like because your dashboard should list all the classes that you're enrolled in, or in my case, all the classes I'm teaching, plus some more. And so you click on the Calculus 3 square or the box, which is called the shell, right? And if you click on that, it'll take you straight into our Calculus 3 class. Now, before I get into it, let me just share some information about this picture I chose. This is Isaac Newton, of course, a famous scientist slash mathematician slash physicist. And this is his quote: "I have seen further because I have been standing on the shoulders of giants." And so it sort of reflects on his humility. But I want to share one important fact with you. Back in 1666, when he was an undergraduate student in England, a huge pandemic or epidemic took place in that year, and the school shut down. All the students had to go home. So he went back to a rural English countryside home where he grew up. And what could he do? Basically nothing, right? Because the school was closed. But he decided to sit down and to write up some of the thoughts that he had been having academically. And that year, in the year 1666, when the whole society was shutting down, he came up with 3 books. One on universal gravity, another on optics, and the last one on differential and integral calculus. Okay, and he, going back or looking back at his life, he called that year 1666 the most productive year of his life, partially thanks to the pandemic. But sometimes these things happen, right? Sometimes what appears to be devastating and tragic as a whole, and by the way, 2020 was for us, but sometimes in the midst of these calamities, something good could happen. So let's remember that. Right? Let's just not write off these years of pandemic just because things were bad. Okay, sometimes good things come out. So you click on the icon representing Isaac Newton, or Sir Isaac Newton, because he is knighted and he is buried in Westminster Abbey. And so this will take you to my welcome page. All right, so you click on that, and I have a quick introductory or welcome video. And then some information here. There are some links here, and you can click and then explore the site. There's information about how to contact me. All right, and so this is just the welcome page. Now, most of the time you'll be clicking or you'll be looking at these modules. So there is a page consisting of modules. I have a welcome module. You know that each of these chunks or clusters is called a box of a module, right? So in this course, we are not going to start on chapter 1. We will skip chapter 1 and go into chapter 2. Chapter 2 is on vectors in space, vector valued functions. There's chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, that starts integration, and then chapter 6, another integration chapter, and then we have another module for the final exam. So the structure of the module is pretty straightforward. Okay, now let me show you what I have in terms of the syllabus, because I need to explain what the syllabus has stated concerning this class, and then I will show you how to navigate through these various pages on Canvas. All right, and so let me talk about, okay, so what you should do is to click on this syllabus link, and then I'll show you what the syllabus looks like. So when you click on that syllabus link, this is what you will be seeing. Math 213, Calculus 3, and here's your section number and all the necessary information for syllabus. All right, I want you to pay attention to this. The text is free and it is downloadable free of charge, and it's published by the nonprofit organization out of Rice University in Texas called OpenStax. OpenStax has created and published many free online resources called OERs, open educational resources, textbooks, right? And one of them is Calculus Volume 3, written by a mathematician who used to be at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT. It's a very well-written book, and it is free. Now, many of you may be used to Stuart, and you can continue to use Stuart if you are interested in using that as your reference or as your supplementary book. But we will be primarily using Calculus Volume 3 by OpenStax. Now, this book is great, but their exercises are not all that great. So I have created, or I have compiled my own exercise sets, and those are your homework. Okay, and going down here, I am not going to go through every detail of the syllabus. I will let you read this. One thing I should highlight here is that no test will be dropped. I will not drop any test or any scores of tests or quizzes. So if you don't take a test or quiz, you will get 0. Here is grading, homework and quizzes and so on. It's 15%. Chapter tests, I will have 5 chapter exams, collectively 60%, and the final exam is comprehensive, and that's 20%. The scale is straightforward, pretty much 10 scale. It is, by the way, a piecewise defined function. As a calculus student, you know what that means, right? And then your outcome, the range consists of the letters A, B, C, D, and F. No pluses and minuses, of course. Right, and here I have sort of written up how you turn in your homework on an online section. Basically, you will do your work on paper or in the screen if you have one of those tablet devices. But what you will be uploading and submitting will be a PDF file. One PDF file per assignment, okay? And each assignment covers pretty much an entire chapter. So you'll be turning in your homework every time you have a test or before you take your test. But anyway, read through this. One thing I really should mention is that I do not accept photos. So do not send me photo images. Those are really hard. Sometimes they do not open in Canvas when I try to look at those things. So make sure you create a PDF file. You can do so by these apps called Genius Scan or PDF Scanner or Smart Scan or Cam Scanner. All of these are listed here. Or if you have a typical scanner / printer at home, you can use that to create a PDF file. One PDF file per assignment. You should be able to create one PDF file consisting of many pages. Okay, so do not send me 15 different PDF files because you have 15 separate pages. They can be collected as one PDF file. All right, now I may mention this a little later, and I will show you this, but my homework exercises come from the homework system called MyOpenMath, and here is the website myopenmath.com, and so for each section and for each problem, okay, you have a similar problem on this online system. Now yours will be printed out in PDF, or I will show you how to access your homework exercises, but you'll see a similar, almost identical set of problems if you go to myopenmath.com, and it is interactive. So if you go and create your own account on that website, then you will be able to have, extra problems for you to try, and many times a video clip showing you how to do similar problems. Okay, and I'll hopefully show you this at the end of this video. Now, going back to the syllabus, I have these resources like PLC and MESA and Veteran Center and others. If you are if you have any sort of disability, the DSPS office is now called AAC, standing for Academic Accommodation Center. And with the official letter from them, I can give you extra accommodations on your exams and so on. Mental and physical health is very important. So there's information about Student Health and Wellness Center, followed by how to do well in the course. Now, I know that you are here in Calculus 3 because you have successfully passed Calculus 1 and 2, which implies that you are already a good student. So I don't have to, repeat all these things like do your homework, watch the video lectures, spend time doing your homework and all that. But these are just some helpful tips for you to be successful in the course. Canyons Connect is an early alert system used by COC, so you can read all about that here. And then the professional conduct, when you communicate via electronic media such as email or the Canvas, make sure that you use proper language and do not commit any act of academic dishonesty, because I do report those things to the dean's office. All right, and then page 4, you'll see the progress schedule here. Now, let me just tell you, this is sort of an approximate progress that you should be making week to week. So here's week 1, this is what you should be doing. Here's week 2, this is what you should be doing, and so on, okay? But in order to make things a little clearer, I have also created this page 5, which is the last page of the syllabus. And here, what I do is, again, I'm listing the things that you should do maybe on a daily basis, but I understand that your schedule is not the same as everybody else's, nor do you have every single day, all day to work on calculus, all right? So use this as, think of what I have here on page 5 as a weekly guide. All right, so for instance, in the first week, you have introductory videos, section 2.1, section 2.2, and activity 1. As long as you do all of these sometime during the first week, you should be okay. Similar for, let's say, week 3. Week 3 starts with a holiday, and then you are to do practice test 1, which is optional, by the way. And then you have the actual test. The first test takes place on September 8th. And homework 1 is due on that day. And then after that, you are to do 2 more sections of chapter 2. Okay, as long as you do all of these things in one and on week 3, you should be okay. So think of this as a weekly guide. I hope it makes sense. Okay, and if any part of this syllabus does not make sense, please let me know, and I'll try to help you. Now, going back to the bottom of page 4, here's what I mean by study a section. When you study a section of the book, that means you watch all the lecture videos assigned on that page. You take notes as you do so. You do your homework, and then you check your answers. Okay, so that's pretty simple and straightforward, right? Okay, so now let me go back to the Canvas shell, and then I'll explain some other things relevant to this course. All right, back to your Canvas shell, and I think I explained pretty much what the first few things are here. I should call your attention to this. The first item under the welcome module is my office hours. So if you click on that, there is a link to my Zoom office hours, as well as the hours, basically Monday through Thursday at 9 to 10 a.m. Or otherwise, you can contact me and I can individually set up an appointment to see each other on Zoom. Okay, so here's the syllabus, and then the textbook and homework system is explained there. I have already explained that to you. By the way, you can download, and you should download this textbook at the beginning of this course. All right, so when you click on that, this is the page you see, and the book can be viewed and downloaded right here. All right, so if you go there, you will be looking at the Gilbert Strang's book, Calculus 3 by OpenStax, and you can download the entire book, 300 plus, no, it's like hundreds of pages for free, okay? And you should keep that on your device, a PC or tablet, so that you can access it even without internet connection. Okay, now this is the thing I was talking about, MyOpenMath. All right, so you can access more exercises by clicking on this. I highly recommend you do this. All right, so let me go ahead and click this. This is what it looks like. Now yours will look a little different because you are a student as opposed to the instructor. Create a your own account, and then find the course called Math 213 COC. All right, now how do you find that? Let me show you how you may do that. Okay, after you open an account in myopenmath.com, put the ID, course ID is 78144, and you can sign up for free. And then you will be enrolled in this course that I have, which is optional, but I highly recommend it because that website comes with video clips to help you with your homework problems or problems similar to what you have in homework. Okay, and so when you open that Math 213 COC, this is what you see. All right, let's say you, and these are not your homework problems, okay, but these are very similar to your homework problems. So let's say you're working on your homework from section 3.2, calculus on vector valued functions. And let's say you're having a problem with question number 2. Okay, well, here's question number 2. This is not exactly your homework question, but it is quite similar because these are algorithmically generated. Right, and you can try to do this problem. Okay, and if you get stuck, you can click on this video, and then the video link will open up that will help you solve question number 2, which will be very similar to, if not identical to, your question number 2 from that section on your homework. Okay, so this is a great resource. Again, it's free of charge. Some other people, some faculty members at other schools have worked very hard, very diligently to create this for you. So if I were you, I would take full advantage of these things. All right, and just for your information, one semester I actually used MyOpenMath as my official homework system because I don't have to grade it. You know, it integrates with my grade book on Canvas. The only problem is because the system algorithmically generates all the exercises, every student was trying different problems. And so it made it really hard, if you can imagine, really hard for me to help students. And it's really hard for students to work together because everybody had different problems, right? And sometimes when you try to enter mathematical expressions, you don't know how to do that. I mean, how do you, enter square root of pi over e to the third or something, right? And so students were spending time unnecessarily to, learn how to enter these mathematical notation. And it's really not important. I mean, it's not a part of your Calculus 3 learning. So I decided that out of the, to avoid all the frustration, I will not use that, but just as an optional tool for you. Okay, so that's why I don't use that officially, but instead I want you to handwrite and work on your problems on pieces of paper, and then I will just look at your scanned copy just to make sure that you are doing your homework. I hope it's clear. Okay, and another page I have under the welcome or the introductory module is this best practices for 100% online section. This goes into a little more details of how to be successful in this course. All right, you should read this before you go to this activity 1, which by the way is due on the first week, I think Thursday of the first week. This activity 1 is based on the document best practices for a 100% online section. This also activity 1 is also a practice so that you know how to take an online test. Okay, this only has 5 questions, very easy to answer questions. And then it comes with a SYW. What in the world is SYW? Show your work for activity 1. So every time you take a test in this class, you will also be uploading your work, supporting your answers for the free response questions. So I want you to practice doing this before you take a real test. So activity 1 and show your work for activity 1 are both due on Thursday of the first week, and it is based on the best practices page. So make sure you get this done in the first few days of this course. All right, everything else is pretty much straightforward. I will just show you what each chapter module looks like. It starts with a reading, which is chapter the text for that chapter, and then for chapter 2 we have this one preliminary page where you open, and there are links to some videos on basic notation we will be using throughout Calculus 3. Okay, and so let me just open up, for instance, section 2.2. Okay, and this is what I want you to do for each section. Okay, first, you watch these videos. Typically, I have 2 to 4 parts to a video for each section. Now, you attend classes if we had, classroom meetings, right? You don't mind attending 5 hours of class lecture every week. That's what most people do in a face-to-face section. So there's nothing less here. I mean, we learn the same content. And these together is not going to add up 5 sections a week, okay? So make sure there's no excuse, by the way. It's not like, you have a schedule conflict. You can watch these anytime. You can watch them in the middle of the night if you'd like. So make sure you watch all the videos assigned to you, right, as you take notes. And then here's a complete notes. I have a PDF file showing you the complete notes. If you miss something during the time when you were taking while watching the videos. And then here's a homework exercises for section 2.2. There's an answer key here, and then there's a link to MyOpenMath. And let me just show you what the typical homework assignment looks like. The assignment for 2.2 looks just like this. I hope you can see this. So there are computer-generated figures, and you don't have to copy the questions. You are to write your questions on your own pieces of paper, and then you make a scanned copy before you have an exam, and then you upload it in an appropriate place. So that's what I'm requiring you in terms of homework. Okay. Again, if you get stuck, you can look at my answers, or you can go to myopenmath.com and look at similar problems and to see if you have video links to the solutions, step-by-step solutions. And one more quick thing, chapter 2 is longer than chapter 3. So I am going to stop chapter 2 after 5 sections, and then your test number 1 will be on the first 5 sections, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4, and 2.5. At that point, your homework 1 will be due on September 8th, and that is also the day when you'll have your first test, test 1. And then this is show your work for test 1. That's a portal where you would be uploading your PDF file showing your work for test 1. Okay, and then we go to 2.6, 2.7, and then chapter 3, and then you have test number 2 on those sections. And pretty much that's the same, the process that you will be using for each chapter. Okay, and again, we have 5 chapters to cover in Calculus 3. If you have any questions about how this works, please let me know. And of course, after a few weeks, I think you'll just understand how things work. But it may take a little time to get used to this. Okay, finally, let me show you some extra tools that I use. Okay, so what you're seeing is, of course, the background is my face. This is my my smartphone that I carry all over the place, right? And so here you have a, oops, that's not what I was going to show you. That's actually good. This is Genuine, Genuine Scan. Sorry, Genius Scan. And Genius Scan is a scanning app that you can use to make a PDF file out of your, pieces of paper. Okay, so that is, I think that's something that you should take note of. And then here is the student version of the Canvas app. PhotoMath, this is a problem solving thing. You probably are familiar with that if you have taken algebra classes, because this will help you find the answers or cheat if you like, okay? But this is not something that you want to use every single time you have a problem, but this will help you sometimes to solve problems. Okay, there's a Zoom app here. And so this is what I want to point out. This is called Good Grapher. Okay, now what, and then this is a calculator, of course, but and this is a unit conversion app. Good Grapher and also Desmos is another app, but I use Good Grapher all the time. All right, let me just show you what happens when I click on Good Grapher. You have a calculator version, but I also can click on this 3D graph to graph these wonderful surfaces, and I can even turn things around. Okay, and throughout this course, I will be using some of these images, and these will help you tremendously. I don't know if I have something else in here, but let's see if I can do this. Let's see what happens here. There's a tiny, that's not much of this, but anyway, you can see a lot of interesting surfaces by, yeah, maybe I'll just show you this one. Okay, and you can rotate and visualize these surfaces in a much better way than just sketching. So I would highly recommend you download perhaps this app. It doesn't have to be Good Grapher. I have a Good Grapher Pro, I think, but you can find similar apps. Okay, and that would be an extremely helpful resource for you. By the way, for your tests, I will not allow you to use any kind of a calculator, but these are great learning tools. Okay, so I think I've covered pretty much everything. And again, if you have any questions or any concerns during the semester, please let me know, and I am here to help you out. And just so you can see my background, I will step aside, and you see this surface called a negatively curved surface. This is the kind of thing we will be studying in Calculus 3, and there's a point called saddle point, because this whole surface, the blue surface, looks like a saddle. And these horizontal surfaces represent the horizontal Z line planes. And so we have a lot to learn, okay? And because we add a 1 or 2 dimensions to your calculus concepts that you are familiar with, most of the time we will start a section referring to a concept in Calculus 1, and then we will build our knowledge on that. So we add 1 or 2 extra dimensions, and that's what Calculus 3 is all about. Okay, so I hope you are excited about starting this course, and we'll have a great time. So I will see you later. And again, please let me know if you have any questions. Take care.